Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Let's talk. Please press subscribe, like, and share this audio with someone who you may think needed. I think I told you all once before, but I just want to tell you again about one time in my life I was doing affirmations. I was getting a lot of money, and then I thought I was tired of doing affirmations. So what I did, I said, I'm only going to do this affirmation at night. I had read this book by Charles Fillmore. I think he's the creator of Unity Church. And he had affirmation that I really liked and resonated with. It was, there's an abundance of spiritual substance. Now, the reason I like that is because everything, including you, are made of spiritual substance. What is spiritual substance? Energy. When you break it down, it's energy. But spiritual substance is the food you eat, it's money, it's the clothes you wear. Everything is spiritual substance. So if I said there's an abundance of spiritual substance, I wouldn't just be focusing on finances. It would bring me an abundance of everything in my life. Everything, including people, because you are made from spiritual substance. So I decided to do this affirmation different. I said I'm just gonna do it at night when I go to bed. So for 1 month, I did it as I fell off to sleep at night, like a lullaby. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. Now, as I said that, I think it was like within that month, everything started increasing in my life. I wasn't paying much attention or something, because when I looked up, I had an abundance of everything. I had another job that was giving me an abundance of money. My refrigerator and my cabinets were full of food. They were running over. I had to buy a freezer for my meats and stuff. I bought a freezer that was running over with meats. Then my clothes, I looked in there, my clothes, and they were just running over. My purses, my shoes, everything I had an abundance of. What would happen, like I said, and it happened so quick within a month. What happened is that I used to go to Saks Fifth Avenue every Sunday to get me a designer purse. So the lady there, she started calling me after I started doing this affirmation. She started calling me like when different things would go on sale. She would call and say, oh, we have a mink cape on sale. And I would run down and get it. And then she would call me and say, oh, the skirts are on sale. Because if you know anything about Saks, I mean, the skirts, you're going to pay $400 for clothes out of Saks, $500 for Saks. So she would call and say, oh, the clothes on sale, and I would run down. So before I knew it and I looked up, I had an abundance of clothes, right? The same thing with my food. I don't know. I always had, like I would go grocery shopping once a week. But then I don't know what happened, because the only thing I know is I was still grocery shopping, but I just had so much. I didn't even have to grocery shopping once a week anymore, because I had so much food. And I thought, oh my God, and it happened so quick. So my husband, at the time, he was still alive. One day I came home from work, he said, what is going on? I didn't even know he noticed, because I had not even told him that I was doing this. And I said, what you mean? He said, we got all this food, you making all this money. His money ain't changed, right? He's a medical technologist at the time. And that's the person in the lab. And at that time, I was a CNA, a certified nurse assistant. I hadn't even became a nurse yet. And I'm making, at that time when that happened, I was making like $100,000. And he's like, what well, you making all this money, you making more than me. What is going on? All this food, and why you buying freezers all over the place? So I sat him down and I told him. I didn't even give him a lot of the information. I just said, I've been reading a lot of books. I really understand about the power in us. That's all I said to him. I said, so I've been doing it. It's called an affirmation because you repeat it over and over. So they call it affirmation. He says, well, what's the affirmation? So I told him, there's an abundance of spiritual substance. He says, well, I'm going to try this. My husband started saying that. 2 weeks later, he started winning the lottery. You know, the scratch-off lotteries? He started winning that. When he won that, he said, oh, my goodness, I'm going to always do this. And he did. And let me tell you something. He was constantly winning the lottery. Then he was trying to keep it for me. Because one day I happened to go past his wallet and see all his money in his wallet. I said, where you get all this money from? You didn't even tell me. He started laughing, and I said, what's so funny? He said, well, I'm going to go on and tell you. I said, what? He said, I've been hitting the lottery like every week since you gave me that affirmation. He said, he had been hitting for like $200-$300, like scratch-offs. And he said, look like every time I hit, it gets more and more. So I said, well, first thing I said is, give me some of this money, because he didn't even tell me, right? But he was like, he was hooked after that. He was hooked because he said, wow, this really works. So I'm telling you, I don't give you anything that doesn't work. If you do it correctly, the way I tell you to do it, it's going to work. Now, let me say this. If for some reason these affirmations are not working in your life, listen to my other video just before this one, because you have either sent out some negativity to somebody that was filled with light or have an anointing with God, or just sending out to people, and it has ricocheted off their light and sending that negativity back to you. And it's going to be hard for you to win for a good amount of money. You might win $5, $10, maybe $50, but you are not going to be able to have prosperity and get a lot of things when you're doing negativity to people. Because, excuse me, every time I give somebody something, affirmation, they always work. But I know 2 people in my life they said it didn't work. That was my daughter, the same one who put the curse on me that I told you in the last video, and another lady. And the other lady, I think she was not doing it correctly, but I don't know what her thoughts are. You know what I mean? I don't know. It could have been her thoughts. Come and think about it. Because when I went back and showed her how to do the one you do at night for the lullaby, she still said it wasn't working. So who knows? I don't know what she's sending negativity to. I don't know. But anyway, that everybody else I have ever given it to, and I used to have a talk show on blog radio, so I've given it out to thousands of people. Everybody always gets success from it. So if you don't get success from these affirmations or any affirmations, it is because you're in the midst of receiving a lot of negativity back to you because you're sending it out to other people. And so therefore, some way, shape, or form, you're thinking negative, you're calling them bitches, or something is going on. Your energy, the bottom line, is you're sending out negative. And so that's all you're going to get back is negative. So if the affirmations work, you'll only get a small amount of money. You're not going to be able to see the full benefits of these. So just remember that. Let me know in the comments how your success is. What happens when you do this? Okay. So again, as you go to sleep at night, you're going to get ready, like you're falling asleep, and then you just start saying, there is an abundance of spiritual substance. Now, I like to do it in like a little song, especially if I'm doing it through the day. Now, you could do it during the day if you want to, but I'm just telling you, I did it at night. When I went to bed, I did it every night. But you can do it during the day, and you can do it at night too when you go to bed. You can do it both times, because I've did that before too. Usually when I want it to happen, like really, like within a couple of weeks or something, then I'll do it in the day and night. So when I do these affirmations, I put a little jazz in it or whatever to make it just more exciting to me, because they could be boring. So I just say, like, there is an abundance of spiritual substance. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. Like a song. So that's the way I say it. And I say it also when I go to sleep at night, I do it the same way. But that is the affirmation. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. And you just continue to say that. And then just sit back and watch your world change. It'll bring in more money. It'll bring in more clothing. It'll bring in more friends. It'll bring in more food. Because again, everything is made of living substance. Everything is substance. Money is substance. Everything. Your body is made of living substance. The dirt is living substance. The earth is living substance. Your home is living substance. There is nothing on this planet that is not made from living substance. So when you say there's an abundance of living substance, you are saying you have an abundance of all things. Now, I did it for like a month. And this is what I used to do. I wish I hadn't, but this is what I used to do. I did it for a month, and then when I got everything I wanted, the abundance or whatever, I would stop doing it. What I learned later on was that I should have kept doing it until it was a way of life for me. In other words, I should have kept doing it until I didn't have to say that, and the abundance will still come to me automatically. I should have did it until it's set up as a belief system that there is an abundance of spiritual substance, and I have this belief in my system, because that way I would never have to do that affirmation again. It would have been a belief, and then it would have constantly kept abundance in my world. But I didn't do that back then. Back then, I would just say something or say an affirmation, whatever, to get me what I wanted or the money that I wanted, and then I would stop doing it, stop doing the affirmation. And then if I would stop doing it over a period of time, the money would stop flowing in, and then I would have to redo it again. It wasn't until years later that I seen, I think her name is Susie Ullman. She used to come on MSNBC. And she was saying that, she did this because I actually had got the, about affirmations. I had actually learned that from her when she was on the Oprah show. But like I said, this particular one I got from Charles Fillmore, the man who did started Unity Church. But anyway, she would talk about doing these affirmations repeatedly, just do them over and over and over again. And then she would say every year, when the year would come, she would set up the new amount of money that she wanted. So she would say she was going to make $1 million this year. And she would say it, throughout the year till she made it. And then the next year she would say, I will make $2 million, like that. I will make $3.5 million. So she did that every year until she got the amount she wanted to get. Now, I've heard some people like Grant Cardone. He said that he just said he was going to be a millionaire. He just repeated that over and over and over until he became a millionaire. When he became a millionaire, he said, hey, if it works for a millionaire, it must work for a billionaire. And he did it, and he's a billionaire. So you should keep doing it if this is the lifestyle that you want. If you want something temporarily, do it till you get what you want and then stop. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Patricia Show.